Okay, good morning, Chavre. We're on page 85. Beautiful Friday morning, the 8th of Elul. Well, we talked about tzedakah. While the act of tzedakah creates harmony and peace, synthesizing the opposing forces of kindness and restraint, now there's another level of tzedakah. The toil of tzedakah is going beyond one's needs. Beyond one's means, I should say, has an even greater effect. So there's something about giving tzedakah every day, and then there's giving tzedakah like that. It hurts a little bit, You're giving beyond what you're comfortable with. Today's lesson, chesed, kindness, is an outward and downward flow. Gvura, restraint, is an inward, upward flow. Naturally, they're opposites. They're contrary. Yud Beis, Epistle 12. The reward for the act of tzedakah will be peace. And there's a reward for service of tzedakah. That's when you go above and beyond. Will be quietness and surety forever. There's one thing when there's peace, but peace can always be interrupted. Then there's quietness and surety forever. What's the difference between the act of giving tzedakah and the service of tzedakah? And what's the difference between peace, and quietness, and surety? Our sages say he makes peace in his high places. Malach Michael is the prince of water. Malach Gabriel is the prince of fire. Yet, they give each other space and respect. They don't extinguish one another. So though water seeks to quench fire, and fire endeavors to vaporize water, Michael is the prince of water and Gabriel the prince of fire. Nevertheless, they give each other space. This means to say, not that Michal's substance derives from the spiritual element of water and Gabriel's substance derives from the spiritual element of fire, but that Michal Sar Shel Chesed, Michal is the prince of Chesed, and Nikra B'Shem Mayim, Hayordin L'Makim Gavayel L'Makim Namo, which is called water because it goes from a high place, it always finds its way down to a low place. In spiritual terms, this descent means the divine life force that comes from the higher worlds and trickles down to the lowest area in the lowest world, this world. Bechinas Eish. Shetiva la'ala islamayla hi bechinas hakvura v'istalkus hashpos l'chaim imata l'mayla. So water is always coming down, and fire is always going upward. Shaloi la'ashpir rak b'tzimtzum atzum v'rav. In order not to bestow it, so fire is represented by gvura, severity, and the upward withdrawal of the flow of life force. When a person passes away, what happens to his neshama? Goes up. In order not to bestow it except by way of an intense and immense contraction. And midais, negdiais, ahavches, zelezo, these two attributes, chesed, which is coming down to give us energy, gvura, which is the removal of this going up, are two conflicting attributes. But only when they are in their pristine state as attributes, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu oiseh shalom b'neihem. Even though they're going in different directions, but Hashem makes peace amongst them. Hainu, ayidei gilui shemiskalesh bohen hara rabba v'ashpa tzuma ma'od neirin seif Baruch Hu, through a revelation, so that an immense illumination and an intense diffusion from the infinite light is revealed within them. Asher kishmai kenu. But just like Hashem's name, the infinite one, etc., so is Hashem. Hashem is infinite and also finite at the same time, meaning He's in this world and He's above the world. Hashem is not, God forbid, on the measure, on the level of an attribute, but transcends exceedingly, infinitely, above everything. But we'll say at the same time that Hashem is in the world and Hashem is in the the branch and the tree and the bird and the blade of grass and everything else, how can you say that about Hashem who's infinite? Only Hashem could do that. Even the rank of the intellectual faculties of Chabad, Chacham Min Hadas, which is the source of the attributes, and surely he transcends the attributes themselves. And then, when Hashem's infinite light is revealed in the attributes, the opposing attributes of Michael and Gabriel, Chesed and Gevurah, are absorbed in their source and root. Mamash. They become truly unified. Again, only Hashem can do. Two opposing forces, Chesed and Gevurah, bring them together as one. They are nullified in His light, which radiates to them in a manifest way. So once their individuality is nullified, then they no longer oppose each other. By way of an analogy, the intense amenity of two high officials dissolve in the presence of their sovereign into friendship. If two officials, two political opponents, standing before the king, suddenly they're just completely absorbed in the king and their colleagues once again. It's because of their joint nullification before the king that this unity comes about. So too, the defined bounds of the various attributes dissipate in the phase of the limitless revelation of the inner light. They have Chesed and Gevurah that seem to be two opposites. Hashem, when they're standing before God, they melt into one. Azai, mismazgin, mismatkin. The Gvuras are thereby tempered and mellowed, sweetened in the chasadim, and are transferred into good and kindness. By a mediary, the determining factor between Chesed and Gevurah that generally leans towards Chesed, imidas harachamim. So what helps it along? The attribute of Rahmanus, mercy. And this Rahmanus is called Hanikras B'Shem Tiferes. The Divrei Chachmei Ha'emes. This attribute of Rahmanus is called beauty in the terminology of the Kabbalists. Safi Shehi Klula Mibeis Givanim Lov Loiven Ba'oidem. It's made up of two colors, white and red. What color does that make? Purple? Pink. Hamiramzim the Chesed and Gevurah, which white and red allude to Chesed and Gevurah. White is Chesed and Gevurah is red. I guess that matches up with water and purity. Chesed and Gevurah is holding back fire. Remember, we compared Gevurah to fire. So Rachmim is called Tiferes because there's beauty in the harmony of these diverse colors. L'chein stam shem Havaya baruch hu sheb'chol ha'Torah morda al midas hatiferes. The name Havaya, as it appears unqualified throughout the Torah, therefore indicates the attribute of Tiferes. So Hashem could bring everything together. That's why we say that the name Havaya is represented by Tiferes. It brings the two opposites together. From here in Tiferes, the infinite light of Hashem becomes manifest in an immense illumination, surpassing that of the other divine attributes. So this then is the meaning of the above quotation that Hashem makes peace. Makes peace in his high places. And the revelation of God's infinite light makes peace between Michael, who represents Chesed, and Gabriel, who represents Gevurah. Only Hashem could do that. What's the takeaway? God makes peace in the upper worlds. Fire and water, which are two opposites. The angels of Michael and Gabriel have opposite tendencies. Michael's chesed, like bringing down water, bringing down the godly energy into our lives, and Gavriel is the opposite going up. And Hashem is not bound to opposites. God's a unifier, and here we introduce Tiferes that brings the two opposites together. Have a good Shabbos and a good day.